Brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
And a swing and a liner toward the alley in left center field, and that ball is gone! A home run for Salvador Perez, number 300 in his career, RBI number 1,000. Hurts shoving his way in. He's in! Touchdown, Philadelphia!
Jalen Hurts and Chris Jones had him, but you just lose a little leverage when you're that high. And with the explosiveness and the powerful legs of Hurts getting so low, a little push from Calcaterra, that's all they need.
4th down and 7 for the game for Kansas State. They do get it off. Avery Johnson to throw. Down the middle and incomplete. Arizona stonewalls Kansas State. Smith and Johnson, the safeties, collapsed on it. And that is a thrilled defensive coordinator. Danny Gonzalez, Arizona, has made a major flip.
4th in the game. Reed, rush comes. Reed pumps, fires. It is caught. Nate Boerkircher brings it in and ties the game.
His career-long 51, this from 55. The snap is off. It is on the way. It's got the distance.
Hello and happy Monday, everybody viewing, everybody listening. My name is Brand Daughtry. Welcome into another wonderful day of Sports Day. I've got Garrett Fitzpatrick here in the studio with me. He and I are going to recap the weekend and pretty much anything else that's just on our mind. That's a Monday show. We're getting off the bat and just seeing what all we can do. Sounds of the weekend. Garrett, Salvador Perez has become the second Royal ever to hit 300 career home runs. Joins George Brett.
Yes.
And anytime you're in the same company as George Brett, you're doing something right.
That is correct.
He has been doing it now for over 20 years for the Royals, catching.
Yes.
Not every day. He was the everyday. As he gets older, they let him DH a little bit, but still just a fantastic player. Logged another milestone. He logged his 300th career home run and his 1,000th career RBI with the same swing on Saturday. Royals lost 2 out of the 3 games to the Phillies. They won Game 3 on Sunday, thanks in large part to who else? The 3-run home run from Salvador Perez. He had 5 RBIs in that game.
And you know, the guy I think he probably has the most fun of any baseball player there is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's fun to watch. He's just got that personality. Now, let me throw this at you then.
Throw it at me.
Okay. Catchers with 300 home runs and 5 or more Golden Gloves. Can you off the top of your head, who do you think? Any?
Yogi Berra comes to mind immediately.
Nope.
No. Really? Okay.
No.
Salvi, just because, obviously.
Salvi, yes, 5 Gold Gloves and 300 home runs now.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I've said before, I'm a tangential baseball fan. I am not necessarily an expert on the sport. I'm trying to remember catchers that pop into my head.
Right.
And again, Salvador Perez is the only one that really. Go ahead.
There was 3 of them. Johnny Bench, 10 Gold Gloves, and he had 389 home runs. And Pudge, 13 Gold Gloves, 311 home runs. So those are the only 3 catchers that have had 300 more home runs and at least 5 Gold Gloves. The most home runs in a season by a catcher, he got it. Cal, the big thumper.
Cal Raleigh took that from Salvi this year.
Yep, and he got 53. The most career home runs by a catcher in Major League history is Mike Piazza with 399. Why can't he hit one more? 399. I mean,
399. I don't think Salvi's going to get there. I don't know how much longer he has, but he's still a really good player. He's contributing daily, and his bat is one of the best in the Royals lineup still.
Yes, and maybe that's why they're almost out of contention, but no. I really I like Salvi. He's fun to watch.
It seems to be well liked by one of those guys that everybody in the game enjoys being around.
I think so. And their shortstop, those 2 guys are just fun.
Yeah, I think the core of Perez, Bobby Witt Jr., who you just mentioned, and I think Vinny Pasquantino can also go in that. He's a little streakier, but I still think he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's gonna if he can get if you have a guy who can get you 40 home runs a year, which is where you think Vinny is going to average, you can handle a guy hitting 250 instead of 280. You know.
Okay.
And I feel like that's where you want Vinny to hang out, and I feel like most of the time he does.
In today's game, you're probably right.
Right.
But what are the Royals going to need to do for next year? Where do they go?
Man.
I mean, you know,
I tell you what, the ads that they got at the deadline were really good. They added 2 solid starting pitchers. They're going to get Seth Lugo back hopefully next year.
Right.
And I think that Mike Yastrzemski has turned into a really good ad in the outfield.
Yeah, I like, you know, a lot of people were kind of, you know what, but I like that move for him. I think that was a good move for a Royals organization.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of upside there yet. I think that was a nice move.
It was weird because he was such a league average player with the Giants.
Yeah,
And he was just, and you know what I'm about to say means he's one of the top 1% of the top 1% of baseball players in the world.
Right.
He was an average Major League Baseball player. I feel like he's gotten better since he came to Kansas City.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, you know, reason why that would be. You know, they talk about, well, he's seeing more American League pitching now, but with today's schedule, you know, you see all the teams anyway. So
Sure.
I don't know if you can really commit to that, but possibly. But so anyway, we'll see what happens to him. I don't know. Like I said, Salvi, like I said, with that age, and you never know when that decline is going to hit, and it could hit hard. Who knows?
Sure.
I hope not. I like watching Salvi, and Witt is one of the most exciting baseball players there is.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
He's one of the best players in the game, regardless of age, position, team, whatever.
Yes.
He's a lot of fun to watch. So I think that at the very least, the Royals have a good core. They've just got to build around it. How do they add around it? I'm not really sure. I think their pitching rotation at the top is pretty solid. They've got the stars that you need. They've just got to add in the aggregate, I guess is the best way to put it. You've just got to add guys that are good.
Yeah.
You got to find guys that are marginally better than the guys you have now.
Right. And in your budget range for the Royals.
Right. Other sounds of the weekend. The Chiefs fell to 0-2 on the year as they lost to the Eagles in a rematch of last year's Super Bowl. It was a late rushing touchdown from Jalen Hurts to seal the game for Philadelphia. The Chiefs will play the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football next week.
That's a Sunday night game?
That will be a Sunday night game.
Really?
Prime time.
No spitting incidents, so that's a positive in the game.
That's a plus.
Yeah. Honestly, I always thought the Chiefs played pretty well against them. I thought that Philly would probably go in there and, might beat them by 14, 17 points or so.
I think the Chiefs' defense played well. I also think the Eagles' offense is very conservative right now because they can afford to be.
Right.
They've got the best offensive line in the league. You got a quarterback that's a running back who can throw the ball, and you have the best running back in the NFL.
And you have the tush push.
Which if you need a yard, you're not stopping that. Where do you sit on the tush push?
I don't think it should be disbanded. I mean, it's a play. Anyone can run it. There's, but is it exciting? No. Is it? I heard, the announcer or the referee that comes in, during the game or whatever, saying, and which I would agree, that is probably a terrible call to try to make. Where is that quarterback? Yeah. Offsides. They're saying their guards are jumping off, which
they definitely did. At least one,
right? But one of those, did you notice? I don't which defensive lineman it was for the Chiefs. His head was across the line of scrimmage too. But I mean, it's just a mass humanity.
Everybody's lining up in the neutral zone on that.
Right.
Everybody is.
Right.
And there's no way to effectively officiate it. Quarterback sneaks are one thing. Philadelphia has turned it into the quarterback sneak on steroids.
Yes.
And again, part of that is that you have the quarterback that just no one can stop. That dude was squatting 600 pounds as a senior in high school.
Right.
And then he went through Alabama's weightlifting program and played at Oklahoma. And now he's almost 30 and playing in the NFL. He's a grown freaking man.
Yeah.
And you just can't stop him, especially when running behind that offensive line.
Because, I don't know how many years ago, they changed that rule because he used to not be able to push like a running back or whatever. So they changed that rule, which opens up this. So now you're like, okay, why did you change the rule back then? But now we're talking you want to eliminate this play.
Yeah.
So
it's a safety thing. And anytime the NFL starts talking about safety things, I go, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah. I think there's a point to it, but at the same time, I can't recall anybody getting hurt on that play.
Right. I would be hurt if I was on bottom of that pile.
Oh, no, well,
Yes.
injured. I should say injured. You hear anybody who's ever run it talk about it, and they go, yeah, it's the worst thing in the world. It
Yeah.
hurts like crazy.
Yeah.
But-
And, the Chiefs are down a couple of receivers, too. But
Yeah.
sorry, I jumped off that ship real
No,
quick.
no.
didn't
I
I?
mean, we're just talking about the game, and you're absolutely right. The Chiefs need those receivers back.
Yes, they do.
They need Xavier Worthy and Rasheed Rice back in a
Right.
bad
It
way.
sounds like maybe the ribs aren't, or the shoulder, they didn't put him on the IL or anything. So, maybe they're hoping he can get back quicker than they were thinking it originally. But
Elsewhere, Kansas State came back late against Arizona but couldn't hold on, failing to convert on 4th down 2 drives in a row. This was Friday night. They fall to 1-3 and will host UCF, University of Central Florida. That will be Saturday.
Scott Frost,
Scott Frost back at UCF.
that's a tough game for me to root for anyone, really. I'm sorry. No.
That's right. You're a Nebraska guy.
Yeah. We'll find out what Nebraska is this week. But anyway, K-State, what'd they have? Rushing yards.
They were down, 20-0 at halftime and came back and made it a 1-score game at the very end.
Yeah, they competed, but, man, they had, 88 passing yards, and one pass was 25-30. I was watching the Colorado game get first, and I was trying to watch the Larned game on the computer, and then I was listening to the Great Bend game, so I was
So
way
you were
overloaded.
paying attention to both Larned and Great Bend at the same time?
I was trying. It gets confusing.
That's good because we're going to get into those games later in the show.
so-
And we're going to have the voices of the 3 schools that we carry are going to recap everything that went down in those games, including myself talking about Hoisington's win over Heston. But before we get to that, we've still got some more stuff to talk about here. Other sounds of the weekend, Texas A&M stunned Notre Dame with a last-second touchdown from Marcel Reed to tight end Nate Borkacher, which is
Go
a
Big Red.
great last name. Say what now?
He was a Husker.
Was he?
Yeah.
Nate Borkacher?
Yep.
Transfer?
Yep.
Okay. A&M won 41-40 and are now ranked 10th in the country. This was a fun game. I talked about this game last week and how excited I was to watch it. It was everything I wanted it to be. It was a great game. Notre Dame's 0-2. They're probably not going to make the playoffs because they don't play another top 25 team the rest of the year.
I think USC is their next tough, probably their next.
And USC looks a lot better than they have the past couple of years,
Right.
but still. And I really had a lot of fun watching this game. I've been saying since the hiring of Mike Elko, I think Texas A&M is a sleeping giant. They have more money than God, and Mike Elko's a darn good coach. So I think that A&M over the next 2 years, they expect to make a playoff spot sooner or later, and I don't think there's any reason for them to not win a national championship sometime in the next 5 years.
You heard it here, folks.
I think that A&M can do it. They've got the resources. They've got the coach. They just got to get the guys and get a little bit lucky.
And there's plenty of guys in Texas.
Oh my goodness.
Just
Now they have had decent coaches before, and they've always had insane amounts of money, and they haven't been able to do it yet. So who knows? I'm hedging my bets a little bit. I do think that A&M can compete for a national title sooner than later.
Okay, we heard it here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with
And
you.
they're ranked 10th in the country now.
Yeah.
We woke up with A&M as the number 10 team in the world.
in the world.
In the world of college football in America.
There's some soccer folks out there going, no, they're not.
Sure, man. I like soccer. I pay some attention to soccer. I don't watch the Premier League or anything. I'm an Atlanta United fan, and Atlanta United is so terrible right now. They were supposed to be good this year, and they were so bad. They didn't win a game for like 2 months. And when Atlanta United is bad, my interest in soccer just skydives.
Yeah. I'm not a soccer fan. Again, it's incredible athletes and respect for what they do. But my oldest son is a big-time soccer fan, but I'm not.
Sure, fair enough. Our last sound of the past not the past 24 hours, but the weekend before we get to our first break of the show. Georgia Tech defeated Clemson in Atlanta. Aiden Burr hits a 55-yard walk-off field goal to knock off the 12th-ranked Tigers. I said this game was going to be kind of sneaky. It wasn't sneaky. It was exactly what everyone apparently thought it would be. I thought that I was kind of clever for highlighting this.
Yeah.
But everyone else was kind of like, hey, this is a really good game, and we need to be watching it immediately. Brent Key, I think, has won 10 games, maybe 12 games as an underdog since he took over at Georgia Tech.
Really?
What they do is so simple, and it's such old school run the ball kind of stuff, very pro style ish. And Haynes King, I feel like, gets hurt every game and will beat you on one leg. If Haynes King is out there limping, you're dead because he's going to beat you somehow. And I have a lot of respect for Haynes King being this highly rated guy, going to Texas A&M with Jimbo Fisher, that not working out like most things under Jimbo Fisher did not work out at Texas A&M. And then transferring to Georgia Tech, where he's turned into this Iron Man. And, like, he's not the best quarterback in the world, but by golly, he can win you games.
Yeah.
And at Georgia Tech, that really means something.
Yes, it does.
And for the 55-yarder
Yes.
to walk it off as a college football player, crazy.
Anymore, 50 yards is like, you know, it used to be 50-yard was, holy cow. Now it's like 50-yarders, they should make them.
What was it? Was it Brandon Aubrey hit a 64-yarder against the Giants yesterday?
I believe it was. Yes.
Yeah,
to what, to go to overtime?
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
That was.
It was a.
And I think that the Cowboys head coach, whose name escapes me at the moment, he said they would have tried that from 70 if they had to.
Yeah.
And I think he would have made it.
They say that guy's got a boot. Yeah.
Brandon Aubrey's pretty incredible. And you know what, man? We're in the golden age of kickers. Falcons made 5 field goals last night with a guy they signed off the street.
Yes. Jimbo Fisher in UCLA.
Say that.
Jimbo Fisher to UCLA.
You think so?
No. But it's a name.
Yeah.
Do
it
you
is a name.
try to grab him to finish the season and give him a shot and just see what happens?
Look, here's the thing. Jimbo Fisher got $100 million from Texas A&M.
Poor guy.
Half of it to coach, half of it to not coach anymore. If anybody ever wrote me a paycheck for $100 million, I think he got paid 50 because it was half the contract was done when he got fired. You'd never see me again.
Yeah.
I'd buy a real big boat. I'd go live out on the water with my family if I had one, and no one else would ever see me for the rest of my life. I don't know if Jimbo Fisher wants to coach again. If he does, then more power to him. Those guys are crazy. They will often do it when they don't have to.
Yeah.
Because they just love it.
Right.
But
I had no thought of
don't
that
know.
until you said Jimbo Fisher, and I just thought, UCLA right now.
Yeah, they fired their coach, again, whose name escapes me.
Foster.
Yeah, Deshaun Foster.
Mm-hmm.
And
Virginia Tech.
yeah, Brent Pry got fired from Virginia Tech after getting dog walked by Old Dominion.
Yes.
You cannot get dog walked by Old Dominion at Virginia Tech.
No.
It's already a hard sell to go there, but like when you're just really bad, you're not going to get good again.
Yeah.
All right. Sports Day is presented by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country. Also by Equity Bank, here when you need us. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. Let's get to our first break of the show. When we come back, we'll unveil Sports Day's Player of the Week. You're listening to Sports Day here live from the Mayo Money Management Studio on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville. Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Welcome back to Sports Day here on a Monday. Brant Daughtry, Garrett Fitzpatrick here with you live from the Mayo Money Management Studio. Garrett, we're going to finish up the next 10 minutes or so, or however long we can make this segment last, talking about the last little bit of stuff that we had happen over the weekend. And as we do every Monday, and are going to continue doing every Monday going forward, here's our Player of the Week.
And Salvi hits it in the air to deep left center field to that corner, and Bader is not going to get there, and it's a two-run home run. Home run number 299 for Salvador Perez. And the Royals hang a 3 on the scoreboard in the first inning.
There you go, Captain. Make it 6 for 6 now with 2 homers in his career off Walker. My goodness. That's beautiful.
Now it is Salvi who hit his 299th home run, and Salvi is now 6 for 6 lifetime with 2 home runs against this pitcher. And a swing and a liner toward the alley in left center field, way back, and that ball is gone. A home run for Salvador Perez, a historic home run, number 300 in his career, RBI number 1,000, all with one swing. Salvi's second homer of the night, and the Royals lead it 4-2. And he's now 7 for 7 lifetime against Walker.
Let's hope the captain gets that ball back.
He's still at 300 homers and still at 1,000 RBIs.
That is hit high and deep to left field. Way back and gone for a 3-run home run.
And the Royals erupt here in the 6th inning, putting a 4 spot on the board to take a 6-2 lead over the Phils.
Salvador Perez is our Player of the Week, the captain for the Kansas City Royals. And Jim, we spent a lot, or excuse me, Garrett, we spent a lot of time talking about Salvi in the opening segment of the show. But just to highlight him a little bit more, the Royals lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies over the weekend. It wasn't because of him.
No.
And most of their losses are not on him. He's been fantastic for a very long time now. And look, over the series, 3 home runs. Who knows how many RBIs he has? I didn't know he had that kind of success against Taijuan Walker.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah.
Did he get the ball? Did you ever hear?
I don't know. I don't know if he got the ball or not. I hope he did.
I did too. 300 and then your 1,000th RBI in one hit.
In one swing
home
of
run.
that.
Yeah. So I sure hope he got that ball.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, the Phillies at least took one. The Mets couldn't beat the Phillies at all. So.
Yeah, the Mets, all right, do I want to talk Mets or do I want to talk Royals? We'll touch on the Mets shortly here.
Yeah, we better not talk about the Mets too much.
They've collapsed. Had a lead in the East, no longer have a lead in the East, and might miss the playoffs, right?
They might. They did win yesterday though, and so actually they did get back to I think they're in tie now for the wild card.
Okay.
But anyway, that's my crying song. That's no one
Mets.
else really cares about
That's
the
the
Mets
Mets.
in here.
I know. I mean, I've got. Well, actually, I didn't put that Braves Tomahawk up there, but it was in here when I got here.
Yeah, that's
but
probably
I'm certainly
Patrick
not,
Burnett's
certainly,
Tomahawk, I'm assuming.
I'm certainly not taking it down.
No.
But the Royals, like we said, lost 2 out of 3. They're 6 games out of a wild card spot. They have 12 games left to play. It's not looking good for the postseason hopes for the Kansas City Royals.
No, they're 6 back in the wild card, so he just said, sorry. I was looking for some numbers. Yeah.
6 back with 12 left.
But no, the Mets are actually in third right now. Giants are a game and a half back. Arizona's 2.5, and Reds are 2.5 back in the Nationals. Cincinnati and St. Louis are playing the series right now, and San Francisco and Arizona. So big series this weekend this week. You also have the Padres and the Mets are playing, and Texas and Houston are playing, and the Phillies and the Dodgers are playing. A lot of people think that's going to be a National League Championship series, but we'll see what happens.
Could definitely be. Well, the Dodgers are kind of they haven't lost that division yet, but they're still kind of struggling a little bit.
Yeah, they're not. They're, I guess, not the typical Dodgers. Everyone's
not what they
thinking
expected.
Of. Right. So we'll see. But no, it's that time of the year. I know I talk a little bit more baseball than I should at this time of year, but it's exciting when you get the matchups going on.
It's an exciting time
so.
in baseball. Because there's only 2 teams eliminated, right?
No, there's 3 now. We got Texas, the Twins, the White Sox, the Nationals, and the Rockies.
Okay.
So a few more went down, and we do have 2 clinched. The Brewers and the Phillies have clinched. So go Brew Crew. That'd be fun.
Yeah. This Brewers team is pretty cool.
They're
fun.
But it's like who's on the Brewers? You don't hear anything about them except they keep winning.
They just don't lose.
Yeah.
It's great. All right. Sports Day is brought to you by C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange sign south of 10th and Harrison. Also brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street here in Great Bend. We got to take our next break. When we get back, we'll recap what happened around the area in high school football. You're listening to Sports Day live from the Mayo Money Management Studio right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
Papa, are you ready to get back to work?
Back to work? But I've been here the whole time.
But I'm back in school. You're gonna have to run the shop without me.
It will be hard without you, but people know that we provide the best service no matter the time of the year.
You could always ask me, Mom, for more help.
Who do you think is really running this place?
Garage door sales, service, and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Barton Community College has college classes that fit your life and your budget. With 5 flexible start dates, Barton Online is perfect for picking up a class or earning your associate's degree at less than half the cost of a university. Study anytime, from anywhere. Save time, save money. Start strong with Barton Online. Ready to take the next step? Visit online.bartoncccc.edu and enroll today.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmy's, make it happen.
Welcome back, Sports Day, Monday, here on KVGB 95.5 FM and 1590 AM. Garrett Fitzpatrick joins me in the studio. My name's Brant Daughtry. I'm the host of this show. We're going to look at some area high school football. And, Garrett, we're going to highlight the 3 games that we carried on our airwaves. We'll start with the Larned Indians. Let's let the voice of the Indians tell you what happened in that matchup.
The Hillsboro Trojans let Larned know who was boss tonight in Hillsboro at Tabor College. A 35-0 beatdown, and the Indians gave up a 6-point touchdown, and that came at 9:32 to play in the first quarter, 11 yards on the touchdown run, and the Indians turned it over on their first possession.
Hillsborough gets a 41-yard touchdown catch on its next possession just 90 seconds later, and that was pretty much all they needed, as Hillsborough had another touchdown from their running back Josiah Gooch of 18 yards, still in the first quarter with 1:14 to play. And then it was about halfway through the second quarter, Zane Haslett, the quarterback, finishes off a 43-yard drive with a 1-yard touchdown that made it 28-0. Larned gave the football back to Hillsborough late in the first half, and Hillsborough didn't need all of it. With 16 seconds left, they put their 35th point on the board, and that was the score at halftime, and that was the final here tonight. So the Indians now 0-2, heading into the game with Pratt on next Friday. And we'll have that one for you on Hits 106.9. Reporting for Eagle Radio Sports from Hillsborough, I'm Gary Wagner.
Big thanks to Gary for covering the Larned Indians for us and for providing that soundbite there. And Garrett, Larned, this was a game that just never felt like they were competitive in. And I did not watch it. I only saw the final score, but 35-0 at halftime, and Hillsborough just kind of coasted towards the end.
Yeah, I got the second half. I watched it, and it was unfortunately a running clock and Larned's disadvantage. Quarterback struggling with some injuries. He's having a little hard time pushing off his legs, throwing, I think. It sounded like maybe 3 turnovers and interceptions, and it's hard to beat anyone with three turnovers. Their running back, I think, was bigger than all but one of their offensive linemen for Hillsborough. So he was sounded like he packed a punch for him. But, it sounded like talking to Wag, too, earlier, they've cleaned up the penalties from the first week. So that's something to build positive on, getting maybe the mentally prepared for games a little bit better. So cleaning up that, we go into Pratt. Homecoming, rivalry. You know what they say about rivalries. Let's throw the records out the door and let's go get them. So they're gonna strap it on Friday. I guarantee you, and we'll bring it.
Pratt took down Halstead 41-0 on Friday night. They lost to Hoisington in week 1. This Pratt team, they've got some athletes. They're a good team, and they've got some size to them as well. Hoisington beat them by being a little bit more experienced and I think a little bit faster. Mm-hmm. But I think this is a Pratt team that, who knows? Larned is a team that struggled, and they're trying to get back on the right track. Like you said, they've cleaned up some stuff, but still, at some point, if you score 0 points in a football game, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it is. So, like you say, rivalry games, throw out the record, strap it on, let's go.
Yep. Next up, let's take a look at the Hoisington Cardinals. They traveled, along with myself, down to Heston. Over to Heston?
Over to Heston. Down, yeah.
Over and down to Heston.
Over and down to Grandma's house. Yeah.
Yeah, about an hour and a half away. And myself and Gene Manweiler had the call of that game. Here's the recap.
Cardinals victorious here tonight over the Heston Swathers. It was a back-and-forth game, especially in the first half. Teams tied 13-13 with 5 minutes to play. Heston driving late, trying to score a touchdown before halftime. With 4 minutes to go, Leighton Hoffman falls on a fumble, and from there the Hoisington Cardinals dominate down the stretch. To end the first half, it was a Kaysen Martin touchdown pass to Corbin Halindi to put the Cardinals up 20-13 going into halftime. From there, it was all Cardinals. Your final here tonight, 39-24. Kaysen Martin finishes with 2 touchdown passes, 1 to Corbin Halindi and 1 to C.J. Bryant. Cardinals finished with over 450 yards of offense, most of it on the ground. It was a dominant attack. The Cardinals had possession for 34 of the 48 minutes here. 2 non-offensive touchdowns for the Swathers helps that. They had 1 fumble return for a touchdown as well as 1 kick return for a touchdown. Penalties hurt the Cardinals tonight, but overall, they were the more dominant team, especially on the line of scrimmage. They face Scott City next week. I'm Brant Daughtry. Thank you for having me. We will see you all when the Hoisington Cardinals face Scott City.
So first of all, that didn't sound very good because I had to record it over the phone. They cut our power off.
Oh.
They cut power in the stadium. Just, everyone had cleared out. We were trying to pack up, and right before we could record that, power was cut. So had to do it over the phone. Thanks to Landon, who's over here in the corner.
Job, Landon.
Shout out Landon Winkler. He's waving at the cameras.
He's the man Friday night, aren't you, Landon?
Oh, my goodness.
Keeps everything going in here.
He's he is running like a chicken with his head cut off on football Friday nights.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he is monitoring every station. He is fixing everybody else's problems, and we had problems getting our broadcast off the ground Friday, but we figured out what the issue was, and we made it work. So yeah, Hoisington. I did a poor job of explaining it because also it was dark and I couldn't see where I was going, and I was trying to do this over the phone, but I think I called him Cason Martin. It's Mason Martin is the name of the Cardinal quarterback. And he was fantastic in this game. I think completed only like 5 of 10 passes, something like that. Didn't have great yardage, but 2 touchdowns. Both of them came in big moments, one of them with 20 seconds to play in the first half. The story of this game, though, and probably the story of the Cardinals' season so far, has been Taylor Morales. They lose Preston Merleau in the Jamboree. He breaks his leg. Don't know how long he's going to be out, but it's unlikely that he comes back in the regular season. They shuffle things around and they move Taylor Morales from one of their wingbacks to the fullback position. Well, he got 150 yards in game 1 on the ground and 2 touchdowns. In this game, he got, I think, just shy of 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had over 10 yards a carry in this game. He also, on the first play from scrimmage, Hoisington gets a false start, so they're backed up. On the next play, they run a dive play, and Morales runs 68 yards for a touchdown. This kid has kind of come on and turned into a really good player for Hoisington, and that's turned into the story of the season so far. He's just shy of 400 yards 2 games in.
So how old is he? What grade?
He's a senior.
A senior, and what's his size?
He is listed at 5'11", 160 pounds.
Okay.
But and Gene Manweiler and I talked about it on the broadcast. I have talked about it on the broadcast a couple of times. He's listed at 160, and we saw him when he came up for the postgame interview after the first game. And I believe he's 160. He's kind of slight, but he runs like he's 215.
Really?
He runs through contact. He's bouncy. He's got good balance. He's tough to bring down. He hits the hole hard. The acceleration is there for a really good player. And yeah, Hoisington is deep. The other thing that I just am really admiring from Hoisington is how good their offensive line is. And with all 5 of those guys playing both ways, they run a 3-man front, so they rotate them in and out. But they have those 5 starting offensive linemen are just making massive holes. I mean, it's stuff that I think, Garrett, you and I could run through.
Wow.
But
them are big holes for
yeah.
me. That's awesome, though. They always say you wouldn't lose by your O-line, D-line.
Uh-huh. And Brody Fonensteel got his first touchdown of the year.
Okay.
They run him at fullback. I think they would love to give him like 10 to 15 carries a game because he's kind of unstoppable in short yardage situations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they want to put that much work on his body because they need him at defensive end as well. But it was a 4th down and 1, kind of late in the game, still in doubt. They decide to go for it because they're close, and they just call a trap play, and Fonensteel takes the handoff, runs it 24 yards for a score. So Brody Fonensteel has turned into a real asset. They're going to use him in a bunch of different ways.
Is the Scott City game at home, or is it at Scott City?
Scott City is in Hoisington.
It's Hoisington, okay.
Yeah. So, and then they have Southwestern Heights. Is that what it's called?
Southwestern Heights, which in the past have struggled.
Yes. So, if you feel like you're going to get halfway into the season at 3-1, at the very least, if you're Hoisington, if you can beat Scott City, I mean, gosh. And Gene and I were talking about it. This is a Hoisington team that, and again, if I'm going on about Hoisington, it's because the team that I pay attention to the most is the one that I call for, and it's the one I know the most about. But this Hoisington team is, they're not going to sneak up on anyone anymore. Last year kind of had the bad season, still made the deep run in the playoffs, but there was still some doubt about them coming into this year, I think, with Mason Martin taking over at quarterback and all that. I wonder, I just don't think they're going to be able to sneak up on anyone anymore. I think they're probably going to be in the top 5 in 2A after a showing like this. They have beaten 2 3A teams and looked good doing it.
Yeah.
So I think this is turning into a super promising year for Hoisington, which is what you expect out of Zach Baird.
Right. There we go. Hoisington.
Cool.
Sorry.
Hoisington.
Hang in
All
there.
right. We've got one more team to get to. Actually, tell you what. Let's go ahead. Let me do this. if I can sort through my stuff here. I've got like 6 sheets of paper every day. Sports Day is brought to you in part by Equity Bank, adding value for our customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. See the locations tab at equitybank.com for more locations. Also brought to you by Sutherland's, helping you build it better since 1917. From quality lumber, plywood, and OSB to cabinets, plumbing, hardware, and power tools. We have everything you need to get the job done. Visit Sutherland's on 10th Street, also here in Great Bend. We got to get to our, third and not quite final break of the show. You're listening to Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
All here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend, or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Brant Daughtry and Garrett Fitzpatrick here with you on a Monday. It's the Monday episode of Sports Day. We're recapping the weekend, recapping all of the happenings around us in high school football. We've got one more school to get to. It's the big one. Great Bend High School traveling to Olathe South. Here's Mike Escher.
The Great Bend Panthers came east on Friday night, and they defeated the Olathe South Falcons by a score of 40-21. That was your final. Great Bend got off to a quick start, 8-0. They were 16 seconds into the contest when Daxton Minton would hit Hayden Kelly with an 80-yard touchdown pass. It was a one-play, 80-yard drive. The PAT went for 2. Great Bend got it, and they led by a score of 8-0 after 14 seconds. Great Bend then would make it 14-0 as they would go get a 34-yard run by Cooper Omott with 9:40 to play in this first quarter. That would be 14-0 at that point, as the PAT was no good. Olathe South would make a long drive, miss the field goal. Great Bend would come right back after the missed field goal, and it was a 4-yard run by Connor Holliday. His first of the night, he ended with 2, as Great Bend would go up 21-0. And then an unusual play on a 4th down, a bad snap to the punter. He tried to pass the ball, and Jackson Wander was able to pick it off and take it in. We're thinking about 43 yards for the touchdown. Great Bend led 28-0 at halftime. They made it 34-0 in the third quarter. And then, as I mentioned, the fourth quarter kind of got a little bit ugly, but Great Bend would win it by a score of 40-21. Unofficially, Connor Holiday with a big night. I have him 23 carries for 195 yards and a touchdown. Daxton Minton, 8 carries for 67 yards. He was also 6 out of 10 passing for a 129. So the Great Bend senior ties Jacob Murray for total touchdown passes of 37 now, and he's also over 3,000 yards passing the football in his career. But Great Bend would go on to win it by a score of 40-21. Great Bend heads to Buhler on Friday night to take on the Crusaders, which could be a matchup of two top 10 teams in their respective divisions. Final score once again, Great Bend 40, Olathe South 21. For Eagle Radio and Whole Broadcasting, I'm Mike Hesher.
Big thanks to Hesh for covering the Great Bend Panthers for another year. And also, Garrett, this Great Bend team is fantastic. They're so well put together. They've been playing together for so long. They've got so many athletes all over the field, and they go east and they play one of these Kansas City area teams, one of these big high schools, and they look the part.
They do. And, you listen to the highlights. Everyone knows Ian Primer, D1, going to Notre Dame, but you hear the highlights and look at all the names you hear. Besides, it's not just a one-man show. Most teams that have a player like that are just going to feature him, give him the ball and whatever. Not Great Bend, they spread the wealth. And I'm going to put a big shout-out to that O-line for this last weekend. I apologize. I didn't get the names of all the linemen, so I don't want to run them off. But I think their O-line stepped up this week and really had a good outing.
That's an interesting point you bring up, because Coach Beck and I have talked about that, where, like you said, you've got a 4-star committed to Notre Dame, all-world type player. Most teams would be force-feeding that guy. They'd be leaning on that guy to catch, to carry the ball 10 times a game in most cases. But that team is so deep that Ian Primer can just go out there and do his job, and everyone else around him can do their job, and they find ways to win anyway. And anything you get from Ian Primer is fantastic, but you've also got Cooper Omont. You've got a super strong running game. You've got an offensive line to lean on. Daxton Minton has over 3,000 yards for his career in 3 years as a starting quarterback, with at least 6 games left and probably a lot more than that. And this is just a really complete Great Bend team.
Yeah. You put Ian out there, and they good chance some of those teams are putting more than one guy on him, which does help these other guys free up. But boy, it sounded like Dax had a great game, exciting running when he gets the ball. That kid's
he can fly.
He can fly, and he's just got that mentality where I'm not going down. And he sounded like that was a fun game for him, which it was, I think. But again, shout out to that O-line. I will get their names before next week, and we're going to go through their names.
Let's look at some other scores. We talk about Hayes a lot on this show just because they're the big rival. They're the one that's closest by, and they're a team that is as competitive as Great Bend is just about. I think Great Bend will be favored in that game in a couple of weeks, but still, Hayes hosting Choctaw out of Oklahoma. They win at 21-19.
Yeah, there's a storm. There's some storm clouds building up to the northwest, and they're coming.
Let me see. I've got a Great Bend schedule around here somewhere. Let's talk a little bit more about Hayes while I look for that.
Okay. They run the ball. They've got some big old boys up there too. They've got a good quarterback. They got some receivers. I think they had one injured last week. 2 weeks ago on the touchdown reception, which I think he might be out for a little while. I'm not positive on that. But you got the old head coach up there from Great Bend. It's just the rivalry of Great Bend Hayes, but we can't talk about that, right? We got to go one game at a time. But
it is in week 7.
Is it 7? Okay.
Is when Hayes will host Great Bend. Both of these teams are probably going to be undefeated going into that game, right? Probably, you would think.
Right. Well, Great Bend, Hayes goes to I think at Manhattan this week. They have Manhattan, so that's going to be another. They've got 3 doozies to start the season off. So, but if they get that Manhattan game, I don't recall the rest of their schedule, but they should be starting to get in whack, and anything can happen, especially in football or whatever. But it could be looking pretty positive there.
What are the odds? And I'm learning the local stuff. I plan to expand to my knowledge on the state at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But just looking at stuff, if both of those teams are, and again, this is 4 weeks away before this becomes a real issue. But, I mean, we're very possible looking at 1 versus 2.
Very well.
In Hayes.
Yeah.
That's going to be an awesome football game.
That will be at their new stadium. Looks cool from the pictures I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to college at Fort Hays, and I worked for the Hayes Rec up there for about 12 years. So I still got a lot of connections up there. Although the players anymore, I don't really know, but still got a lot of connections. So there's a lot of talk back and forth up there. But again, we got to wait one game at a time.
One game at a time.
Right. We got Bueller. Sounds like Great Bend coming up this week, which sounds like could be a good game for them too. Sounds like Bueller's undefeated, I believe they said, or
I think so.
Something.
Yeah.
So
Hold
yeah.
on, let me look. Yes, Bueller also 2-0.
Okay. So yeah, we got another undefeated team. Panthers are going to go knock off.
Hesh said that this could be 2 top 10 teams going against each other. We know Great Bend will be. Bueller also, 2-0.
Right. So, but one team will have a loss, and I'm going to think that's going to be Bueller.
Yeah. I think that this is the year for Great Bend. It's got to be.
Yep. Just like I said, they got to keep their head on straight, worry about next game, next play.
Mm-hmm.
And, never mind. I won't go back to that story. So go ahead.
Sure. Everybody knows the history, and everybody knows what happened last time.
Yep.
All right. Sports Day is brought to you by Kern Floor Service. Whether you need a new ceramic, porcelain, or natural stone tile floors, our knowledgeable and friendly flooring experts are here to help you find the perfect floor for your lifestyle, home decor, and budget. Visit the Great Bend showroom at 908 Coolidge to see, touch, and feel the latest styles. Also by Cody Crook of Red Cedar Land Company. Whether you're looking to sell your land or find the right property to buy, Cody takes pride in understanding your goals and making the process as smooth as possible. Call Cody at 620-617-7320 or visit redcedarland.com. We've got to take our last break. When we get back, we'll recap a little bit of Sunday Night Football. You are listening to Sports Day live from the May Money Management Studio here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
Papa, are you ready to get back to work?
Back to work? But I've been here the whole time.
But I'm back in school. You're gonna have to run the shop without me.
It will be hard without you, but people know that we provide the best service no matter the time of the year.
You could always ask me, Mom, for more help.
Who do you think is really running this place?
Garage door sales, service, and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Get on the fast track to earn your national certification with Barton Community College's new Medical Lab Assistant program. In less than 1 year, you'll gain hands-on training to work in medical labs, clinics, and hospitals, delivering critical patient care. With flexible learning, including 100% online courses and lab hours at your local hospital, you can grow your career or start fresh. Healthcare needs skilled professionals like you. Enroll now at mla.bartonccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Welcome back. It's Sports Day. Garrett and I finishing off the show here. Brant Daughtry with Garrett Fitzpatrick. And I said we were going to recap Sunday Night Football. I don't think anybody cares about that nearly as much as I do. And you have stuff prepared. So what was
a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it. We've only got about 2 minutes left.
Oh,
in the
okay.
show.
I better hurry up. Hey, congratulations out there to Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
If you're not, there's a lot.
Who in the world's Terrence Crawford?
Right. There's a lot of people I don't think they're into boxing anymore as much as it used to be. You know, when I was growing up, I watched boxing with my dad. It was on. We only had 2 channels, so you watch what you wanted. But I always enjoyed boxing. I think it's a fun sport to watch. He joins Manny Pacquiao, had 8 titles, and in different weight classes. Oscar De La Hoya had 6.
The Golden Boy.
Yes. And then Terrence Crawford's got 5. Floyd Mayweather Jr. had 5. Sugar Ray, he was my man back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
He had 5. And Thomas Hitman Hearns also had 5 titles. So big fight this weekend, and he just was an artist in the ring again. He's got power. He didn't knock the guy out, but he dominated the fight. He is pound for pound one of the best fighters ever, And like I was saying earlier, I think boxing, with you off air there, boxing has lost a lot of the I don't know, favorite people's sport or whatever, just because it's pay-per-view so much. You don't watch it much on TV. MAY or the MMA took it over. That's the big thing now. But back in the day when I was young and really into it, you had Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Haggard, Roberto Duran, the Hands of Stones. You had Thomas Hitman Hearns. And it was just a battle. They were fun. You knew them. You'd see them on TV. So boxing, I just enjoy watching boxing, and that was a big match. He's from Omaha. Nebraska's the football team's really got behind him. The football coach flew out to Vegas after the win and watched it. And I don't know. Let's see what happens. Who leads the Nebraska Cornhuskers got the tunnel walk this week, and they're having a 95 class reunion for the 95 championship team. But Crawford, he came out against Colorado last year, led the team out, and that place was rocking.
It's wild to me how many different organizations there are, how many different titles you can hold as a boxer. Because in just UFC, which is the only combat sport that I'm familiar with, there are different organizations, but one is clearly at the top. It's not that way for boxing.
Yeah, boxing is confusing, and I really don't even follow it close enough to realize all the difference. But you're right. There's undisputed 4-way champion of the middleweight, lightweight division of the left-hand hitters. I don't know, so, but it was cool.
That's going to do it for our show today. Thanks, Garrett, for coming in today, man. It's always a pleasure. We'll see you. Well, you're going to be out next week.
I'll be out next week. Great Ben is hosting a ribbon cutting for the new basketball court over at Eisenhower School.
Fantastic. All right, looking forward to tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I'm Brant Daughtry. Thank you for having me. This has been Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.